Does that look straight? I think that looks straight. It's hard to tell.
All right, give me a second. See if my feed's actually working. Oh, good. Look at that. Live now. Oh, good. It is working. Okay. So, does that work? Okay. All right. Hi, welcome to my page. My name is Leslie Germain, and we are going to be doing a yoga flow today inspired from the Netflix show Tiger King. I should have started this by saying, hey all you cool cats and kittens. Yeah, so I got my little tiger friend here right now. No tigers were harmed in the making of this YouTube or yoga video. This tiger's super cute too. Listen, I have to get close for you here. So this little tiger will be joining me today. I'll put him right on the edge of my mat. And I've also got a few other big cat friends that are joining in. A little lion, tiger, a leopard or jaguar, I don't know. And of course another lion. My daughters went through all their stuffed animals, and it was covered in cats because they love cats. But I kept it to like the wild cats for this flow. Okay, so let's find our way. Well, actually, we're going to start with a little lion's breath. Why not? Start with some pranayama, some breath work. So lion's breath is a really fun one, especially to do with your kids or with loved ones around, because it's super silly and it helps you let go of taking yourself so seriously. So what we can do is start with sitting back on our feet. Our knees can be slightly apart or even together if you'd like. I like to bring them out just a little bit. And for lion's breath, we want to inhale. And on your exhale, this is the fun part, you're going to stick out your tongue and bring your gaze to the middle of your forehead, your third eye. So then your eyes are doing a little bit of a stretch as well, okay? So you can watch me first, and then we'll do 6 rounds. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Deep breath through the throat. Inhale. And then maybe you fold forward on the exhale. Inhale. And then come up to your normal seat. Close your eyes, pause, and feel. Notice how that felt. I'm telling you, if you felt embarrassed to do it, you're not being broadcast to whoever wants to watch right now. But I can always edit that out later if I want to, I guess. Okay, so now we're going to come down onto our backs. And so the theme of today's class is to go through lots of different wild cat poses. And so we're going to be a little creative here because there aren't all poses named after leopards and jaguars, so I might have created some just because. So we're going to start with a few bridge lifts by pushing the heels down into the ground, and notice if your feet are hip distance apart or not. If they're not, bring them there. Heels root down as you inhale, lift the hips, 1 vertebrae at a time. Keep the back of your head down to the ground. And then maybe inhale, sweeping your arms up overhead. Tops of the hands can touch down. Maybe the heels lift. Exhale, slowly lower everything down. And let's do 5 more of those. Inhale as you slowly lift 1 vertebrae up at a time. Arms rise. Exhale, lower. Remember, the heel lift is an option. You do not have to take it. Inhale, root the heels as you lift. Once you've lifted, maybe lift the heels. Exhale, lower. Let's do 3 more. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Exhale, bringing your hands down, keep your hips lifted, and then maybe if you'd like, shimmying your shoulders a little closer together, interlacing your fingers, and then pushing your arms down to the ground as you lift the hips up a little higher. You can stay here, or if you'd like to go a little deeper and your heels aren't lifted, lift the heels, bend the elbows, and allow the palms to find your low back, the sacrum area, and see if you can spread the sacrum by letting the pelvis melt into your hands. And we'll be here for 3 more breaths. Exhale, however you need, find your way down to the ground. Arms can go out to goalpost arms as you windshield wiper the legs side to side. No rush here, slow and steady. Okay, drawing your knees into your chest, giving yourself a hug, maybe rocking side to side, small circles with the low back. We're going to wake up our core, and we'll have options, of course. So keeping your right knee hugged into your chest, allow the left leg to go long. So I'm going to call this leopard pose, because I imagine this is maybe what a leopard looks like when it's originally jumping into a body of water trying to catch a fish with its jaws. Okay? So squeezing that right knee into your chest as much as you can. And you can keep the left leg on your ground if you'd like. It keeps a little less work of the deep, low core muscles, ab muscles there. If you want to engage those low transverse abdominal muscles, lift the left leg about 30 or 45 degree angle. And then inhale as you lift the head and shoulders off the ground. Keeping that right knee squeezed into your chest, take your palms together, prayer position, reaching up, up, up. And then exhale as the left arm reaches around the right outer thigh. Inhale, arm comes back up, maybe squeezing the ears. Exhale, reach. One more, inhale. Exhale, reach, 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 reach. Really work those obliques. And then inhale as you reach your arms up overhead, legs go long. Switching sides, hugging the left knee into your chest. So the more that you can squeeze, find the compression in the core, the more you're going to be working your abdominal muscles and your hip flexors. So if you're just sitting here when we lift the legs and do the oblique work with the knee pointing more up, then we're not getting the full benefit from this pose. So really see if you can contract the knee closer to the chest, even if you're not squeezing in with your hands. Right leg can stay long or reach up 30 to 45 degrees. Head and shoulders lift. Straighten the hands, palms together. Exhale, over to the left. Inhale, arms can go up or even up overhead to make it a little harder. Exhale to your left. Inhale. Last one, exhale. And then inhale as you reach up overhead, taking both knees into your chest, squeezing tight. So now we're going to combine those actions into more of a bicycle leopard pose here. You can choose how quick or slow you'd like to move. Starting over the right side, twisting over to the right. And then inhale, arms come up as you switch legs. The left knee draws in, right leg goes out and over to your left. Inhale, so legs switch, arms reach long. Exhale. Inhale, extend. Exhale, reach. Inhale. Exhale. See if you can keep your head and shoulders off the ground while you move here. Once again, you can go a little faster than my pace. I like to move a little slower, but it's up to you. We're halfway through. Does it sort of feel like we're about to jump into the Amazon River, find a piranha, I'm not sure if that's what they eat. I don't know much about wild cats, honestly. One more on each side. Whew. If we have some smart little cat people, though, feel free to educate us in the comments below. Oh, and then exhale. Woo! Reach your arms up overhead, feet together, knees go wide. Reclined butterfly. One hand comes to the heart, the other comes to your belly as you close your eyes. And go within. Find your inner cat. What kind of cat do you resonate most with? Maybe it's our domesticated indoor or outdoor cat. Perhaps it's a jaguar, a lion, a cat, or now maybe you're a huge tiger fan. Ask yourself, which cat are you today? Put it in your mind's eye and become that cat for this practice. It's like a little method acting. We're going to be that cat. And so I'm going to pick a jaguar, since they like to live in the tropics and I like warm weather. All right, rocking and rolling yourself forwards and backwards, massaging the length of the spine until you find your way into tabletop position. Oh no, kitty, back there. Okay, coming into tabletop position. I'm starting with some cat-cows, of course. Inhale as you drop the belly, gaze forward. Exhale, tucking the tailbone, black cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, round the spine, tuck the tailbone, maybe gaze in between your thighs, and keep moving like that a few more rounds. And then coming to a neutral spine. Inhale, sending the left leg out long, pointing out through the ball of the foot. So this is pointing out through the heel when our toes are pointing down. Pointing through the toes is when we point the toes, and then the ball of the heel is in, we're pointing the foot, but then we flex just the toes, like a ballerina maybe. Okay, staying here, reaching the right arm out long, inhale. Exhale, knee to nose, or knee to elbow. Inhale. Exhale. One more, inhale. Exhale, tuck. Inhale, lengthen. Coming down to your forearms, elbows come down to the ground. Keep the left leg lifted and spiral the inner front thigh down to the ground. And then inhale, send the left ball of the foot up high. Exhale, squeeze it in, knee to chest. Inhale, kick it up really high. You'll feel a little back bend here, glutes engage. Exhale. One more time. Inhale, kick the leg as high as you can. Exhale, knee to nose. Dropping the foot back down to the ground, coming on to tabletop position again. Left leg reaches out long as you bend the knee, this time flexing the foot. And then starting to go into the cow pose where you drop the belly, gaze forward. Lift the knee up a little higher. One more breath. Exhale. Child's pose. You can either have your knees wide or together. And let's bring our fingertips or pointing away from us. Arms down to our sides. Finding your inner cat again. Okay, rolling yourself back up. Coming into tabletop on the other side. This time your right leg is going to go out long, pointing out through the ball of the foot, and then kick the left arm up high as well. Thumb pointing up, pinky closest to the ground. Inhale. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Exhale, get it in really tight. Beautiful. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, left hand comes down, drop down to your forearms. They're directly underneath your shoulders. Notice that that right hip is spiraling up. See if you can draw it down. We really want the belly of the front thigh to point down to your mat. And then when you drop the belly, lift that left leg up high. Exhale, draw the knee in. Inhale, straighten the leg as you lift through the glutes. Exhale, knee comes in. One more time, inhale, reach up a little higher, engage, squeeze the glute at the top. Exhale, knee comes into chest. As you drop the knee back down, coming back into your tabletop position. Right leg reaches back out long. Bend the knee here, flex the foot. You might need to rearrange your arms slightly here for a wider stance. As you drop the belly, gaze forward, squeeze the shoulder blades down your back. So maybe one day that top of the foot might reach and touch the back of your head. Ain't gonna happen right now for me, but maybe after a million more back bends. Exhale, child's pose. This time let's bring our knees out wide, walking our hands out. Palms come together into prayer position, and then bring your fingertips, if you'd like, to the back of your neck. If you can, draw the chest down, pushing your heart center towards your mat. If it feels okay, shift your gaze forward so you're resting on your chin instead of your forehead. If anything doesn't feel good for you, obviously do not do it. Only do things that feel good in your body, that safely provide you more flexibility and more strength. And over time, you'll be able to go a little deeper into these poses. Exhale as you come back into tabletop position. We're going to do a little anti-cat right now, downward facing dog. So let's tuck the toes here. Lift the knees off the ground a few inches. Push the ground away and find a little protraction, a spreading of the shoulder blades. And then inhale as you begin to lift the hips, straightening the spine, keeping a bend in the knees. Inhale. Exhale, coming all the way back down to cat, cow, or tabletop position, or keeping your knees hovering a few inches off the ground. And then inhale, come back into down dog. Let's do that 3 more times. As your knees lower, hover, touch, you choose. Inhale, lengthen, lifting the hips. Exhale. Inhale, try to control this pose using your core. Last one. Beautiful. Downward facing dog. Maybe walking your dog out here. Maybe when I asked you to find your inner cat, all you thought about was your doggy. Some of us are doggy people, some of us are cat people. Okay, coming into a still downward dog. If you want to play with clawing the ground, draw your fingertips. So you're coming up onto your fingertips and you're squeezing as though there's a ball, a tiny ball underneath your hand. Claw, claw, claw. You might claw so much that you come up onto the tippy tops of all 5 fingers on the left side. If you're new to this, this might feel excruciating. Exhale as you bring your left hand flat. Come up onto your right fingertips. Exhale, right palm comes down. You can continue clawing the ground or come up onto all 10 fingertips and hold here for 3 and 2 and 1. Exhale, coming down to your knees. Keep your hips directly over your knees if you can as you walk your hands out, puppy pose. Once again, melting the heart down to the ground. You can keep your toes tucked if you'd like to spread the fascia behind the feet. Or if you're like me, I don't feel anything doing that. So I untuck the feet and I put the pose mostly in the front body, where I'm pushing my heart down as I gaze forward. Three more breaths here. Where can you soften? Where can you let go? Exhale as you walk yourself in, coming to a seat. Doing a few wrist circles here. Pushing your palms, the tops of your hands together. And then reversing direction. Okay. We're gonna come back into downward facing dog. Don't worry, we're only gonna be there for a moment. 3 breaths here. Inhale as you shift your weight forward into high plank pose. And so this is called Jaguar apparently, what I'm gonna show you. I never knew it was called that. We're gonna take the left knee to the left tricep or elbow and then kick it back again. Right knee to right elbow or tricep and then kick it back. And then to the left. See if you can squeeze the knee up to your chest a little higher and then back out. Switching sides. Hamstring curl and then back out. We're going to do one more on each side, holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Left leg goes back as you draw the right knee in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it down. Yes, coming out. Shoulder rolls. So we've gone through cat pose, the leopard pose, jaguar's pose, the lion's breath. We're building up for our tiger. All right, so cat-cow position. We're gonna do some shoulder circles here as you send your hips back. Take your left hand and make big circles. As wide as you can. Hips move forwards and backwards. And then reverse direction. This video is really jagged. Inhale, sending your left arm up high. Exhale, thread it through. Let your left forehead rest down on the ground. Reaching your right fingertips out towards the front of your mat, or taking your right hand around and going for the bind. If you're going for the bind, see if you can pull that right shoulder head off the ground a little bit more away from the ground. And then exhale, release, back into tabletop position. I think my flow is breaking up here pretty badly. So I'm gonna have to do this a different way, because if my live feed is being this bad, it's not gonna look good later. Unfortunately, this is how the internet bandwidth is working here. So I'm gonna end this here. I'm sorry if you joined me because I wanted to finish it, but I'm gonna record it and hopefully YouTube will let me post it. I've been trying to post a video for 3 days now and it won't let me. So I'm hoping I'll have better luck with this one, but I don't want there to be that bad of quality, and it feels like the servers are being a little overloaded. So let's just do one more side in case you're still with me to even out the shoulders, and then I'll do this again, I guess. I guess I'll just finish it. Yeah, I'll finish it. I'll test out how it looks, and if it looks bad, then I'll redo it. Very fun to do, isn't it? Okay. So we're gonna do shoulder rolls on the other side. Hips go back as your right arm swings into a big circle. And do that 5 times, going one direction. And then reverse. Inhale, send the right arm up high. Exhale, threading it through. Resting the right side of the head. Left hand can reach towards the front of your mat. Or if you'd like, reaching the left arm around for that right inner thigh and twisting, spiraling here. Beautiful. Left hand comes back down underneath your shoulder as you inhale, send the right arm up. Exhale, right hand comes down to the ground. Tucking the toes, sitting back into a toe squat. Hopefully it's just my feed that looks so bad and maybe yours is okay, so I'll finish the video. We're gonna come into crow pose here. This crow pose, if you're still playing with crow, we'll just play with crow. But if you have a very strong crow and you wanna play with clawing the ground, I'm gonna show you how you can do that. So to come into crow pose, you come into a low squat with your knees wide. Bring your hands down to the ground, lift the hips, and see how high you can get your knees up into your arms. Begin to lean and shift your chest forward until both feet come off the ground. So like I said, if you're feeling stable here and you want to play with a claw crow, we'll start with the right hand. Just like in downward facing dog, we're going to bring our fingertips down to the ground. Lift the hips up high. And so we want to get our right knee onto the arm first. Well, I guess both are coming on. But what we want to do is get weight into the left and the right side. And then take that right foot off the ground, squeeze, hamstring curl, and then maybe, steady gaze, the left foot can float as well. And maybe you hold it for no breaths, maybe you hold it for a few breaths until you come down. Whew. Little roll, finger flicks. All right, let's switch sides. Left hand comes down, lean your weight forward, chest forward. Left foot comes off the ground. You have more weight in the right side, that's okay. Eventually it'll balance out. Maybe the right foot lifts and you try to get your toes closer together for 3, 2, 1. Oh my goodness. Exhale, finger flicks, wrist circles. So if you want to try to do all 10 fingertips at the same time, go ahead. I fell on my face doing that last time, so I'm going to avoid that one for now. Okay. Let's come into one more downward facing dog. Shifting your weight forward into high plank pose. Exhale, either knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Coming down to the belly, bringing your forearms, elbows down to the ground. Sphinx pose. Sphinx, of course. An old cat, an Egyptian cat. So notice if your shoulder blades are hunching forward and trying to reach to your ears like they're an extension of your ears, maybe a shoulder earring. Not a look we want to go for. So instead, lift the shoulder heads by drawing them back and lift the heart, pulling the sternum through, and then maybe gazing forward like a proud Egyptian lion. You can stay here, or maybe you start to walk your fingertips out, coming up onto your fingertips, straight arms. See if you can pull the belly button into the spine to protect the low back, push the tops of the feet down. And then exhale, lower back into your Sphinx pose. Rest a cheek, arms down to your sides. If you like, bend the knees and windshield wiper side to side. Okay, we're going to come into bow pose now. For bow pose, bend both knees if they're not yet. Reach back for the shins or ankles. Inhale, lift the chest and the knees. Finding your back bend here. Kick your feet into your hands. One more breath, lift a little bit higher. Create more space in the front chest. Exhale, release. Maybe a slight shift to the hips, left and right, or windshield wiper the legs again. We're going to do one more bow pose, this time taking our grip instead of taking the outside edge of our feet, taking the inside big toe edge side. Flipping so our thumbs are pointing up. And then once again, inhale, finding your way into your Dhanurasana, your bow pose. This might feel a little bit different in the shoulders. But see where you can find and create a little more space and ease. Exhale, release. Okay, we're gonna find our way into our last downward facing dog. You can either push yourself up through child's pose, or if you'd like to do a little bit more core work, bring your hands under your shoulders. Tuck the toes, walk the toes in a little bit closer to the hips. The knees will lift. Lift the shoulder heads, so notice if the shoulder heads are depressed. Bring them up. Start to push your hands into the ground. Engage the belly button to the spine. Keep straightening the arms, straightening the arms, straightening the arms until you come all the way up into your plank. Lift the hips. Downward facing dog. One breath here. Exhale through the mouth, tongue out, eyes wide. Lion's breath. Let's do that 2 more times. Knees come down to the ground. Tabletop position. Right hand under right shoulder, pivoting that back foot, and then coming to your side for a quarter moon. Half moon down on our knees, basically. I call it quarter moon. The left leg reaches up, left arm reaches up, and if you can, gaze to the left hand. You can stay here or maybe bend the back leg, taking the left hand, reaching for your foot, and then kick back here. So when we're doing our back bend here, instead of reaching the rib cage up to the sky, let's reach the rib cage forward. So we're trying to have a more of a back bend versus a twist. Exhale, reaching the left hand back down to the ground, keeping that left leg lifted, tucking the right toes. So we're going to come back into that pose we went into earlier. This is actually called tiger pose. Bending the left knee, right hand reaches up. See if you find stability. I need to reposition my left hand a little bit inwards towards center. You might need to move it around as well. Reaching back, finding that foot. You might need to do a deeper hamstring curl to find the foot. And then once you go there, kick the foot back, drop the belly, gaze forward. So it's a combination of cow pose and a little half moon pose, or Dhanurasana, back bend. If you want to work on flipping the grip here, bring the knee back down slightly. To flip the grip, you're going to externally rotate the arm. So we're going to point the thumb up, find the big toe with our thumb, okay? And then we're going to start kicking our knee up off the ground, straightening the leg as much as we can, while spiraling the elbow towards the front of the room. Keep gazing up. This is as far as I can go. And then exhale, release, child's pose, knees together apart, arms down to your sides. Rest the forehead or temple down to the ground. Whew. That's a doozy. Flip the grip is never easy, especially for a shorter class like this. I typically like to give you more time with your shoulders, but you know, I'm working with what I got. Okay, we're gonna do the other side. Starting with quarter moon. Left hand down, pivot the left leg. You can take the right leg down to the side, stacking the hips over each other. Right arm reaches up, and then maybe the left or the right leg joins it for quarter moon. You can keep your gaze to the side or start to slowly shift your gaze up, up, up towards your right hand, as long as it feels okay in the neck. If it doesn't, go where it does. One more breath. Exhale, right hand comes down, taking your toes underneath the heel, pivoting, so you're back into that tabletop position. Right leg stays reaching out long, left arm reaching towards the front of the room, bending that back knee, doing a hamstring curl as you take your left hand, reaching back for the big toe side, and then when you find it, come into that bow version as you drop the belly, gaze forward, maybe shift your head back. You can stay here, or if you'd like to flip the grip, release the foot, do a deep hamstring curl, because it's going to be harder to find here. Point the thumb up, find the big toe. Once you find the big toe, kick the foot up, straighten the leg, kick the foot up, belly drops. Maybe your elbow can point towards the front of your mat, maybe not. One more breath. Exhale, release. Woo! Child's pose. There we go, tiger. Hey, all you cool cats and kittens. And so since this is Tiger King or Tiger Queen, we're gonna end this with either shoulder stand or headstand, the king and queen of yoga poses. Now, if you have neck injuries or neck pain and you by no means want to do a headstand or shoulder stand, because why hurt yourself, then I'm gonna show your alternative is to end your practice basically right now by coming down to your back, giving yourself a hug, and then coming into a supine twist on both sides. And taking your shavasana if that's what you do. If you've been wanting to play with shoulder stand and headstand, you don't have any neck injuries, but you still don't have a lot of neck strength or confidence, and you're afraid to put any pressure on your neck, then a way to build strength in your neck muscles is to bring your knees together, coming into rabbit pose, taking the top of where your hairline is basically, down to the ground. And eventually we're gonna roll onto the top of our head as we lift our hips. So you can watch me first, if you've never seen rabbit pose. Hands come down to the ground, hairline down to the ground. Begin to lift the hips, rolling onto the top of your head. And the more that you push your hands into the ground, the less weight that you're gonna put on your head. You can keep lifting your hips, rolling a little bit more weight onto the top of your head. And squeezing your elbows in so you're like hugging a box instead of letting them splay out. Strong arms. Exhale, unwind. So you can do that a few times as you start to develop more strength in the back of your cervical spine. If you know how to go into headstand, go ahead. If you're a Tiger King, I'm going to be a Tiger Queen. Coming into shoulder stand, laying down on your back. So if you want to play around with shoulder stand instead of headstand, you can take a block, place it underneath the sacrum, kick your legs up to the sky. So this is learning how to get our hips and our heart a little more elevated than our head. If you're coming into shoulder stand, the number one rule is you're not going to look around. So once you start to put weight on the back of your neck, you will not look around. Just make a promise to yourself. If you want to look at me, then don't go into shoulder stand first so you can see what I'm doing, and then come down and find your way there, okay? We want to be safe. Neck injuries are not something we want in our life. To come into shoulder stand, lay on your back, start to swing your hips up overhead, knees get a little closer to your head, and then bring your hands down the back body. So they're going to start at your low back, and as you begin to lift your legs up to the sky, your hands start to walk a little bit closer to the shoulders. And so you might do a little shimmying of your shoulders here to squeeze your shoulders a little closer together. Allow your hands to push into your back body to help you find balance. And then once your legs reach up long, squeeze the inner thighs towards each other, the inner ankles. And I don't care what you do with your feet, whether they're pointed or flexed, but just make sure that they are involved. And usually we're in these poses for quite some time. Some say up to 10 minutes. We won't be there that long. We'll be here about a minute. Go back in. Find your inner feline. To all my kings and queens. At any point, feel free to slowly come back down by bending the knees. Coming into a little ball, and then walking your hands back down the way that you came. If you want to come into plow first, and then slowly, one vertebrae at a time, taking your time. The upper spine begins to touch back down. The thoracic spine starts to join your mid-back. Your feet might take their way off the ground behind you. Use your core before your low back slowly comes back down. Bend the knees. Feet together, Knees go wide. Soften the jaw. Okay, so now we're going to join all of you who decided not to go into the king and queen poses of yoga. Squeeze your knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug. Give yourself a little love. And then arms go out wide. As you push your knees over to the left, gaze to the right. And taking a few more breaths on that side. Slowing down your breath. Switching sides. Knees fall to the right as you gaze to the left. Knees draw back up. Allow your legs and arms to go out long. Relaxing from the fingertips to the toe tips. Shavasana. Finding relaxation. Closing your eyes if you feel comfortable. And whatever inner cat you chose, find the qualities of that cat that you connected with. Because maybe they were strong, independent, fierce. Whatever qualities that cat possesses, some are lazy, some have families. Connect within yourself. Settling on that quiet ferocity within as you take a deep stretch. Imagine if you have a cat, arms up overhead, and you're clawing the ground or clawing the air above you as your hips shift side to side. And then exhale, finding your way up, whether you roll to one side or sit up here. Hopefully that video worked out okay. Otherwise, I'll be recording it again later today. Thank you all so much for joining me. This little tiger says they appreciate you very much. Yes, don't you? All right, bring your hands together, heart center. Closing your eyes. Hands come to forehead, be light and shine. Hands come back to heart, be light and love. Namaste. Thank you so much. Please feel free to share this video with others. Don't forget to subscribe down below, comment, like, whatever it is that feels authentic to you, authentic to your inner cat. Thank you so much.